right, folks, thanks for joining us again on a V2VG video podcast, a Family Through Service video podcast. Kind of flubbed it a little bit there.
Yeah, well,
Had an exciting couple days. We'll call it exciting.
yes, I guess depending on what kind of a psychopathic sense of humor you have.
Yeah.
But, you know, we try and be all over the place, but some very serious situations have occurred.
Yeah. Very serious.
You know, and so not only do we do our YouTube videos, we follow a lot of YouTubers like, you know, Donut Operator and Matt Best, Angry Cop.
Yeah.
And
who's not a cop? He's a drill sergeant. Just so you know.
yeah. I don't understand. I don't know. Maybe that was taken, but you actually sent me this link 2 or 3 nights ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you want to kind of give the intro of what I mean. A lot of Angry Cop's videos are more on the humorous side, and so.
But they're all factual.
Yes.
Right? So they're on the humorous side because he pokes fun at these things, but they are factual.
Yeah.
And I came across it, and it basically said the VAC, Veterans Affairs Canada, recommended MAID, which is medical assistance in dying.
Yeah.
For a veteran, a Canadian veteran, who called the helpline to get assistance with mental health issues. This warfighter, Canadian warfighter, had TBI, PTSD issues, and called the VAC, the Veteran Affairs, the VA in Canada, to get help.
Yeah, to get some mental and emotional stability and help, and which is what we're told, right? I mean, when we get out of the service, they're like, "Hey, don't be afraid."
Call us.
Yeah, right.
So we called him, and this what we assume is a gentleman based on what he said.
Actually, I don't assume any gender. It's just a real piece of shit person.
Yeah. Either way, it was a piece of shit. Recommended MAID, medical assistance in dying. Recommended this veteran kill himself right then and there on the phone, and the veteran was like, no, I don't want that. I want assistance with my issues, not to kill myself. And this person doubled down and tripled down and kept saying, no, kill yourself. You should kill yourself. But don't worry, I've done this before. And to make you feel better, the person that I helped advise to kill themselves did it on the phone with me. But we're giving counseling to his kids, as if that makes it fucking better.
Yeah, and not only that, but you think about it, that's more money being taken away from other veterans. And it's not to say veterans' children don't need help, but
but to use it as an excuse, as a qualifier that this is okay to do because we're gonna give your kids counseling because that's better than having a parent there is absurd. It's freaking absurd. And so this veteran, this warfighter, this Canadian warfighter, was like, yeah, this is not okay. And then contacted the VA and said, hey, this person on the phone, this dude is telling me to kill myself. And the VA didn't do anything. So apparently he contacted the Canadian media. Canadian media said, hey, what's going on, VA? And then it became a shitstorm.
Yeah.
But what did the statement, an official statement from the Veteran Affairs Canada say about offering veterans this suicide as an option?
Yeah, so we have the quote here. It's
an actual quote.
And this is their end-all be-all for the situation. Providing advice pertaining to medical assistance in dying is not a VAC service.
That's a quote from the statement. It's a statement from the Veteran Affairs in Canada.
So, I mean, there's a lot of things going on here, a lot of tentacles swirling around. So, you know, one of them is, not only is this individual a real piece of garbage and pushing this and doing it prior to, but when it is brought to the, whatever they would be, the manager or the top person in the VA, their basic response was, yes, that this person did advise that, and it was wrong. We're going to have a meeting, but the meeting will have to wait until like another 2 weeks or so.
At the earliest.
When we have our next meeting, if we have time,
So the person in charge of like quality control-ish was like, we need to have an emergency meeting about this, and the head of the VAC in that area was like, no, we'll wait till we have a meeting at the earliest in 2 weeks in September. This happened a couple days ago. So that statement from the VA went on to say, providing advice pertaining to medical assistance in dying is not a VAC service. Not. VAC's, VAC, VAC's case managers, veteran service agents, and veteran service team managers have no mandate or role to recommend medical assistance in dying to veteran clients. Now, why did this person do that? Is it against VAC's, VAC Canada, VAC, against their mandate? Is it an unwritten rule? Because after all, why would they, is this person a psychopath? Is this person following, an unwritten protocol?
Yeah, I mean.
Because they've done it before, we have to wait for the investigation. Because at first you think maybe this person's just a freaking psychopath. But it gives one pause when you realize that the person, this VAC employee, hasn't been placed on administrative leave, hasn't been removed from their position, so they're still taking calls from veterans in need of help. They haven't been fired, they haven't been reprimanded, so if it's not in their purview to do that, then why haven't action been taken against them?
And our viewers may be
pending an investigation.
And our viewers and the viewers of Angry Cop may be thinking to themselves, well, why does this matter to us? This is all the way in Canada.
Why does it matter to us?
Well, I mean, it was
matters to us because of that.
Well,
it doesn't say family through service in the United States military, does it?
Well, just about 2 years ago during elections, there were some political candidates who were pushing this whole universal free health care. Why is that important? Well, because Canada has universal health care. So
someone's got to pay for it.
So, you look at the civilian sector, you got that. So we have competitive wages and better treatment and stuff. And, nobody knows better than combat veterans how much we talk shit about our VA. But never in the time of being in the service and doing what we do combined, have we ever come in contact with a veteran who was like, hey, I called the crisis line or whatever, and they told me to kill myself. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of issues within the VA system, but there's a lot of great people as well. But that is never crossed.
We've worked with some.
Yes.
We've worked with some fantastic people
in the VA system. And not so great people as well.
We've worked with dirtbags. And no matter what organization you work with, you're going to run across that. Doesn't matter the organization.
Absolutely.
Doesn't matter. But this is unfreaking believable. It's beyond the pale. Okay? Does it mean that it's never happened in the United States? No. I can't say that it's never happened, but it's never come up, and you'd think that it would.
And I honestly, the big difference one of the big differences between the United States and Canada is, despite most of the United States media sources leaning one way or the other, there are so many of them, and something like this would get blown up.
Oh, God.
Canada has the CAC, and that's like it, and it's government ran.
Yeah.
So they have one media outlet, and so for the fact that it got this big, even in the CAC, is huge, and it's something for us to take note on.
So if you don't think that, you guys got this news from YouTube or Facebook or something, go to cbc.ca. That's their news agency. It's on New York Times. It's all over the media. Just type in Canadian veteran told to kill himself or some search of that nature. It's all over the Canadian media, our media. It's news, mainstream media and non-mainstream media. This happened, okay? And it was about a week ago.
So about a week ago is when it went to the media. So I'm thinking.
So when did it actually happen?
Probably 2 to 3 weeks, maybe prior. So within a month, I would imagine.
Now, you mentioned, Chuck, that as far as we can determine, this veteran, thankfully, thank God, didn't take the long sleep, didn't kill himself, because it didn't say that his family reached out.
No,
said,
yeah, exactly.
You know, and it said,
there would have been follow-up on the veteran, but
something's got to happen. This is not right.
But this call taker or whatever they were said not only that they offered this before, but actually helped somebody do it, and that they're putting their kids through. So I mean, not only is it really fucked up to like talk about this as any possible solution, but then to brag about it.
Yeah, as a solution that has been done on the phone, live, as it were, with this fucking call taker at the VAC.
It's mind blowing.
I can't. When I found out, it was later at night. I had my phone in my hand. I squeezed my phone, and I was this close to just throwing my phone against the wall. I was so angry. The last time I was that angry was during the Benghazi
which
tragedy.
Happens to fall. We found out about this the day before the 1 year. I don't want to say anniversary, remembrance of Afghanistan. You know what's, and just to bring context to what you're saying about your anger, because of your TBI, you're pretty limited with your emotional response.
Yeah, very limited.
So for it to affect you in that type of way, it's the difference of a child getting a shot and it hurting, and an adult getting the same shot and being like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, if it hurts as an adult,
it disgusts me. I was so upset. And if you want, and this was your idea. We're gonna link, as an example, we're gonna link Angry Cop's video, because that's how I found out about it, and then I did my own research to it. At the end of the video was what really got me.
Yeah, you have to
watch the video, but watch the end of the video.
Again, because if
this
you
shows
know
what a veteran feels.
And again, as I said, he does a lot of humorous satire type things.
But the end of the video,
it can be hard
the end of the video is not satire, it's not humor, it's raw emotion.
And there is a switch there, and at that point you can see he's no longer in character, so to speak.
He's not character anymore. He's a veteran. He's a drill sergeant. He's a man, and he's a human being.
And he will shit all over the military services when he finds out about stuff they do wrong.
Absolutely.
As much as recruits, I don't know, jumping the fence with their M16 and hijacking a school bus full of kids. He's covered it all.
That Army soldier who was caught going back to basic training to sell vapes because that's where the money is. He shits on everybody equally,
But this hit him hard.
This hit him hard, and rightfully so.
Absolutely, and so to me this is frustrating, and it brings it home to the fact that we have, and I hate that politicians do this, but they take tragic moments and turn them into talking points. Yeah. And
don't waste a good tragedy, right? They say, or they do.
Mr. President Biden does this with his son. Oh, my son's a veteran. He died of cancer. The burn pits. But people forget that he was on scene with Benghazi. He was on scene and responsible for Afghanistan. And this isn't a political thing. This is about the fact that how dare you put your own child's service to the country in vain like that as a talking point, mere months after the Afghanistan. And in fact, we still have hundreds of Americans there.
And our allies.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm not trying to exclude them, but
no,
it's about priorities, right?
Priorities, yeah, and it's a travesty of justice for service members. It's disgusting. It's sickening and it's angering.
But the problem is with these things,
it's a lot of things,
is that it goes away just as quickly as it comes into the media. That is the issue.
Another issue, you're absolutely right. Americans, because we're such a big country, we have so much going on, we have national ADD, right? We have collective...
And social media ADD,
social
right?
Social media, national, collective media ADD. This is going to go through like everything else. We will never forget September 11th. Well, we did, because we're not united like that anymore. But we're always moving on to the next thing, right? And there's always something else. But, and fine. But this is the kind of shit that us veterans have to frickin' deal with all the time, All right,
And
we
the
deal
fact
with this
that
shit all the time, whether it's
okay.
here or in Canada. Nobody gives a shit, but you know what? There are people who give a shit, and Veterans to Veterans Group is one of the organizations who gives a shit. That's why our motto is family through service, because our veterans and first responders are not just numbers to us.
And it's not just them, but their family members.
And their family
direct
members.
family members. And you know, a great example, and I hate to put her on the spot, but a great example of an amazing individual at the VA. We had to just meet with her because she's
Yesterday.
currently resigning to go into a different field. Simone Cote has spent countless hours working with homeless veterans.
So many.
Not only homeless veterans, she's gone outside of her lane to help veterans in all kinds of different crises that she was not required, probably shouldn't have done. And she
just to help them, just to help
the beginning.
So, from the beginning, from the very beginning.
Build us up, and we've worked great together, and you know we do craft type things for our own.
What a great working relationship we have with her, or had, because she's moving on, and good for her to move on. She's got a new baby. She's got a family to think about. Good for her. But she's a VA worker who knows her shit and
she
cared about veterans. You know,
she has no obligation. So we deal with people like, you know, our former VSO person who is a veteran, and they're far more invested. When you have civilians who mostly run the VA system, they have no.
It's like vested interest.
Yeah, there's no connection
necessarily
unless they want it. Yeah. You know, but it's sad that.
Or you get somebody like this guy at the VAC who's like, yeah, just kill yourself.
Hey, we'll send you your medication through the mail. Do you prefer 9mm or what? You know, it's sad because let me tell you, you know. There was a huge thing in my house the other day, and a lot of it revolved around suicide and whatnot. And Eric and I both have witnessed and been very close to people who have died, both service member, veteran, and civilian side. But you know, it's something that I have to deal with every day. Every day I have to find a reason. Not that I have to find a reason, because I look out into our office and I have it. But every day is a fucking struggle. And, you know, having that one person to, you know, guide you in the wrong direction, it could be all it takes, you know?
It could have been this VAC worker could have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
And it really is something like that. It really is. A good friend of mine, Justin, was doing really great, looking forward to getting the Wounded Warrior Project, and when he was denied because of misunderstanding conversation, he took his own life, because that was his next mission.
All it takes is something small, something simple.
Something that direct, you know, like, hey, we're going to send you a manual on the best way to go out and do this. Like, really medical assisted.
And we're gonna walk it through. This is a policy in Canada. So MAID in Canada is a civilian option. It's according to the VAC, it's not a VAC option, but the civilian sector of their universal health care, it's absolutely an option.
And there are states in the United States that offer it, but the criteria is very, very difficult. Like, it has to be a terminal illness. You have to undergo these types of treatments. Like,
and this fucking guy is just like, oh, you don't feel good because of the war we sent you to? Oh, just kill yourself. You're okay. Well, we'll take care of we won't even take care of your family. Because, by the way, if you commit suicide,
get them counseling.
We'll give them counseling, but your benefits don't transfer because you committed suicide. So, we forgot to tell you that part.
Well, yeah, I mean, who knows? You know, but this is a small taste of the VAC, but if you really look at it, what happened to civilians in Canada, like this great nation that everybody should have their government based.
Why can't we be more like Canada? Really? You want to be more like Canada?
They stopped every one of those truckers fucking banks. They had access to no money just because they didn't agree with the political statements.
They didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong.
There was nothing violent happening.
No, they just didn't agree.
So is that what we want?
That's what people want.
I sure as hell don't want the government doing what we do can be controversial on both sides. We talk a lot of trash.
A memo saying anybody who flies the Gadsden flag, the Betsy Ross flag, which was an American flag, and those things.
Biden, Trump, and Obama were sworn under.
Yeah, so those are could be considered domestic insurgents or whatever it was. Seriously,
This is why it's important, because our country is still the greatest country on the planet.
We've got problems, yep, we do. We've got problems. We've got to work on.
But we're moving in a direction that isn't that great, specifically for our veterans and for our veteran families. I mean, we see it. We know you guys are dealing with the caregiver program.
We got kicked off.
Just sitting in limbo.
Went from 40 hours of assistance needed a week to 0, just like that for no.
And just a small dose. Things that could happen: seizures. I don't know.
Fall down with vertigo.
Falling, hip issues, falling. All these medications. If you skip one, all these things that and honestly, I'm under summarizing what you have to deal with.
It's just it's the problem is multifaceted. But you know what? We've got people who care, and we still have a world that generally cares.
Well, we have to fight.
You got exactly. You got to fight. But you know what? If you want to make a difference, it starts with you. We started this charity from the fucking ground up.
From our own cupboards.
Everybody can do something, whether it's big or small. Do something to help someone. All right. It doesn't have to be veterans. It doesn't have to be first responders or the family. Do something to help someone in need. Whether it's elderly, someone sick, someone homeless. I don't care. Help someone in need. All right. Just help somebody. All right, help somebody that needs help, and you'll make the world a better place. And then, if the world's a better place, there'll be less room for assholes like this guy to suggest just offering yourself because you have TBI or PTSD from a war that they fucking sent him to.
And just to kind of close things out here, so if you or anybody is struggling, I'm not going to, we talk about this all the time, how we want to end up killing ourselves wading through the list of phone numbers and people to call, but jokingly, obviously. But if you or someone who's a veteran, first responder, family members, have any issues, please feel free to reach out to us. Our email is veterans2veteransgroup@gmail.com. Follow us on Facebook, email, and our business phone number is area code 603-966-0201. If it's something we can't directly help you with, we will work our asses to find an actual individual, not an 800 number.
Not an 800 number. Everybody can find the 800 number. Fuck that number, all right? So, we've heard veterans say, yeah, nobody answered. We'll get back to you, or we'll answer the phone. Just don't end it, all right? The world will be a worse place off if you end it, all right?
You're not alone.
You're not alone. Things won't be better off without you. Trust.